Hello. Hello, I hope you can hear me. Can I move this thing? Can I move this thing? Um, yes. I'm sure there's actually a way to move this thing. Fuck it, who cares? Maybe over here. There we go. Yeah, I don't think that worked. Alright, anyways, that's OBS. So, see this thing here? This is a problem that must go. Fuck, man. The fuck? Oh, Jesus. 1,000 of them running here. Yes. Okay. What a way to start the video. So, if you are having issues to launch games or load into games, for this instance, we're going to be using Dota 2 as an example. So, I have a text document. Here's it here. Long story short, bar a solid state. Okay? If you cannot load into games, that is probably your issue, is that you're on a hard drive. If that is the common denominator, which I seem to see that it kind of is, because a lot of people who are trying to play Dota 2, they've got like good systems, and it's like they should be able to load into games. They get the unable to connect to server or local or server host or something like that, and yeah, it's a problem. So yeah, some things that will help you. So bar solid state. This will fix your loading speed. So when you start your computer, press Control Alt Delete, go to the task manager. Inside task manager you can see everything that's running, right? So normally it's like this. Okay? I have it kinda like this. So I can see what's using what. So as you can see, I've got OBS running, task manager. Then of these applications, this is services, and that's about it. As you can see, it's pretty clean. I got NVIDIA, that's my graphics card, and that's it. Alright. Let's see how much RAM usage we have. OBS is using the most. Antivirus is using the second amount. And then that's pretty much it. Right? So not much is using not much. Some things you can just close. Like this here, you could just probably end task. Right? It will come back if it's important or needed or necessary to run something. So some things you can't close, you can't end. So kind of like this Windows search, I've got it suspended, but there is one that will open up and work. So some of them you can't get rid of, but you kind of want this. You kind of want a nice clean system. There's the add or remove, control panel. And with the Windows 10 and up, there's like two places. So this is how it should look, right? As you can see, there's nothing on my computer. There's nothing on my computer. Whatever can be uninstalled will say uninstall, right? Whatever can't be uninstalled will say change. So as you can see, all these things can be uninstalled except for this. This thing cannot be uninstalled, but all of these can go. And on Windows 10, everything will still work. You can literally uninstall your graphics card now and you won't lose display. So here's the apps. As you can see, I have nothing here. If I open up my start menu, there's nothing here. So all these things that you may have, you just go like that and you uninstall. See this here? It won't let you uninstall. This here, uninstall. So everything that you don't use, this game bar, you can't uninstall. This get help, you can't uninstall. But every single thing else needs to go, like this here. App settings, background apps and link. You could terminate it, you could reset it, whatever, but you can't really get rid of it. So all of these things here, this tips, can I remove it? See, it doesn't really let you remove it. Yeah, so everything you see here and everything you see here needs to be removed. Everything needs to go. Only stuff that you use must remain. Okay. Hard drives only read to 40 to 80 megabits per second. Windows 10 requires 80 megabits up. Okay. So if you're sitting and this disk usage is sitting at 90, 100%, it's probably because you're on a hard drive or it's slow. See, there's that search I was telling you about. So this here, I can't get rid of. Even if I end it, it will just come back. See, there we go, there's it there. And now it's using a lot of memory, and then it's back. So you can't get rid of this, and you can't get rid of your antivirus. You can try, but it just probably won't work. So anyways, this is how you kind of want to sit. You want to start your computer, you want to go Control Delete, and you want to sit like this. No usage, no network, a little bit of your RAM, a little bit of your CPU. Okay, so the reason why you need a solid state, because a hard drive is a spinning disk, it spins at 7,200 revs per minute. Solid state is a chipset, much like your phone, so it can give you less than 20 seconds for a full restart. So that means you click here, you click there, you say restart, it will close all of this, turn off, turn on, and resume this document, reopen this, and maybe even reopen this. Okay, I've stated that over there. So most solid states seem to be SATA 3 drives. So even when you go and you look for like an online SSD, a lot of them are just SATA drives. 256 is probably what you need, but like I've only got like World of Warcraft Classic, GTA San Andreas, and Dota 2, and that's where my issues run in. So now music. If I do this, let's take a look at the task manager. As you can see, that is what's happening. Let's just pause the music. Now, this is about 600 hours or some shit. So as you can see, the music player is using a lot. The antivirus is using some, but I have a lot of it turned off or disabled. So if I go to my antivirus, this is going to help you. You go into each one of them, and then down here there's settings, real-time protection, turn that off. Now this will automatically get turned back on. So you should probably check this. Every time you launch the computer, you should probably check this. So let's add that to the list. Okay, so solid state is like $25 or 20 EU. You only need 10-20 gigs to run Windows. Dota is about 30 gigs download, and then it becomes 60 gigs big. While Classic is like 5 gigs, and it becomes like 30 gigs or something like that. Especially if you have Cataclysm and Classic. This is what will help you. Buying a solid state will fix 90% of the issues, especially when it comes to load times. Everything else is just, the reasons why and why you should buy a solid state and the size and things like that. You can still use your hard drive as an external if you have a laptop, or just in general, buy the laptop size drive. The reason why is if you ever get a laptop, you can put this in a laptop and, etc. This is the second thing you can do. So you can reset Windows. That's very easy. You go like this, you type in reset this PC. Get started. So yeah, keep my files. It should ask you another menu, but yeah, that's what you would basically do, is just click this here and then reset. Let's see how much this thing is using. See, there's settings there. So you would say remove everything, but it keeps your personal files. So this is safe. You can do this. It will keep your Steam, your WoW, your games, your add-ons, your CurseForge. You'll keep everything. Maybe even your Discord. But yeah, you might lose your Discord. But basically, everything will end up kind of like this. So there's Windows old. So inside here, there's your things, right? And then here is my stuff here. I put everything into there. This is all my stuff, right? So yeah, this will help a lot. This will give you a nice clean install. You'll have nothing else on it. Once you've done that, you need to say updates. So you go here, type in update, you click this button. Once the updates are done, you restart. Then you do it again. You do all the updates again, and then you restart. And you update, and you restart. And you update, and you restart. Once you have no more updates, then you need to go Windows Security. You need to go here. You need to run this. You need to scan. As you can see, for 500 gigs, it took me 4 hours. It scanned, and there's 0 threats found. So if you have any software, any games, any cracked files, whatever, it needs to be scanned and cleaned. You just need to go through it. It's gonna help you a lot. Because once you have a clean computer, you can turn off a lot of these things. You can turn off a lot of the stuff, because this is what's actually stopping you from getting into games, is load times. So once you've done with this antivirus scan, if you find one virus, you need to restart and do it again. Okay. So you can use this as a monitoring tool. As you can see, it uses 1%, barely. So once you've done all of that and all the updates are done, you've scanned, you got 0 threats, Then you can go into the old files, you can find Steam or whatever game you're trying to launch. It will keep the old files, but yeah, the problem is I think this has a size. How big is this? So as you can see, this is taking up space. So you can reset your PC like probably 4 times, but you're gonna run out of space. So that's when you should move everything into a new folder like this, and then you can basically try and delete this, but I don't know if you can. I think I tried and it failed. So anyways, once that is all done, you can just pause the video if you need to read. You can put these commands in. So this here is gonna help you launch. So let's open up Dota 2. As you can see, I've got OBS. Steam is now here. There's Steam, there's OBS, there's Notepad, but I want to see what's using the most on my CPU. And this, as you can see, disk wise it's not using anything because it's already installed. So antivirus is a huge play because as soon as your computer turns on, it's scanning, it's looking for whatever the fuck, and it's just slowing everything down. As you can see, Steam has all these fucking things open for no reason, and it's just using a lot. Try to see if I can close some of them. Some of them I think are like kind of like a ghost file, because like we're not using these fucking things. It's like this thing here that sits on 0, that can go because it's taking up RAM. But as you can see, they just open anyways. So yeah, OBS has 2, Steam has 6, and so on. So anyway, here's Dota 2. You go here to settings, you go to properties, try to turn off like anything else that you may have, like this shit here, turn that stuff off. Anything that you may have, turn it off. Here's it here. So this is that. Right. So then now let's launch. Let's take a look at the task manager. Let's watch it launch. There's it there. As you can see, it's starting to pick up in CPU. This thing needs to go to like 2000. So it only really uses like 2 to 3 gigs of RAM. Disk, as you can see, the disk is going up a bit. So it's reading and writing at 12 megs, right? If we go like that, 12 megs and then 0.3. So there, 40 megabits is using almost 50% of the disk. The game is up, still low. This should go higher, but they might only be once you in-game or launched. So on an R5 it's using 10% CPU, 20%. There we go, more RAM. As you can see, it's starting to grow. 40 megabits per second, which is only 35% of the disk usage. So that's Windows, all these things running, and that. Once this is at like 2 gigs or 2000 megabits, then it's kind of working correctly. So now you can see 66%, 70% CPU usage, 50%. Alright, the game is in. Very cool. One thing you can do was create a lobby. So create a lobby. This does help. It does definitely help. Okay, see how much we're using. There we go, 2000. So 2.5. 2.5, that amounts. Settings, video. So as you can see, I can put everything on best looking. The computer will do it, but put this down. Borderless window, 1920 by 1080p, 60 hertz. Okay, so there you go. Use basic settings. You can put this right down. Reason for this, it's going to help you load. Apply. So this is going to help you load into games, and if you log into different Steam accounts, you're going to have to probably check this every time. But there we go. Once you're here, make sure you're in all pick, make any game, and launch. This is just a way to try and preload in on your server, so say Europe or whatever. Because a lot of guys were saying like, this is the fix, you gotta load in and then go. It's probably because you're on a hard drive. So there we go, we loaded in, we random, we skip ahead. So as you can see, I've loaded into the game works. Yeah, everything is working. Storm hammer, little penguin trick. By the way, the penguin goes the way that you're facing, so always just kind of face into it if you want it to work a bit better. So yeah, anyway, so now that we've loaded, disconnect. Leave game. This is still gonna be sitting the same, so they had hit 3 gigs, 3.2, so you need at least 4 gigs of RAM to play this. This search here, you just can't get rid of it. Even if you close it, it will come back. And when you close things while you're trying to play, it sparks, so just be careful of that. But this one here, you can't get rid of. Even if you try to, even if you like go there, and you go to details, and there's it there, and you try and like set the priority to low. You can go to Dota 2, you can set that to real time, it will only stay at high. Yeah, Windows is pretty safe, it will just kind of do its own thing anyways. There's the performance, this is sitting high, it's an i5 2nd gen, 12 gig of DDR3, so it's not the best. Hard drive, HDD. And I have other hard drives just for some space. There's some Wi-Fi usage, and the graphics sitting like that. Okay. Yeah, so due to not connecting to games, I have low priority, and that's why I also swap onto other accounts. And you can see I'm not a smurf. It's 2013. My first match was in 2013. So I hope this video helps you, because I know it works. So once this is all done, you can just check your processes. It needs to be nice and clean. So by clean, I mean when you look here, you don't see Edge, you don't see Chrome, you don't see any of that stuff. If I open up Chrome, look here. Look at that, 7 tabs. What all this is, I don't know, for one tab. 11. So yeah, just the music player and Chrome is using roughly 2 to 400 megabits of space. They have 573 hours of music. it doesn't use much CPU. It's not using much RAM. OBS is using 30% CPU, 400 megabits of RAM. Steam itself is using half a gig of RAM. So just the Steam launcher, your music player, Chrome, is using quite a bit. So I don't recommend trying to play with your internet open. So if you find a game, just close this or end the task. Whatever's sitting here at the top, CPU and RAM, whatever's sitting at the top, so this you can't get rid of. See, this is using 20 megabits of RAM and 1%, so 1% is not much of 100. So this is how you kind of want to sit. You just want to sit like this. If this is your issue and you have all these things here, you need to close, uninstall, reset, refresh your computer. So once it's clean, so let's just move down a bit. So delete stuff, check your task manager, extra tabs and things, web browser, Edge, Chrome, whatever. So you're gonna have to go and view what you can disable, what you can remove. So once you've cleaned your PC of viruses, done your updates, disabled extra programs, disabled some antivirus stuff, go to bed, just do your virus scan. So yeah, when you go to bed, you just go here, you click there. It's very easy. You click here, you go to there, you go scan options, and you go full scan. You say scan now, and then this is what you will get. That's your result. This is just explaining about 90%, 100% disk usage. Again, bar a solid state drive. If you don't have a SSD, that is 90% of your problems with the computer. Apart from maybe viruses, it's this, and programs that shouldn't run. Torrents and movies will have viruses. Free games will have viruses. Everything that you don't use, any Windows app, everything you don't use, remove. You can probably use Mozilla Firefox or Opera Mini. They're a bit better web browsers that's for gaming. Yeah, the game was updated and locked at a minimum of 60 FPS, so that's why you can't get in. If you use something like Overwolf just closes tabs that are unnecessary. This is the monitor that I use. It's 19-inch, 1080p, whatever. It can go higher, but yeah, this is what's working for me at a good resolution. I think it's like this. I think it's like that. You want the game as low as possible to load in. You want to be able to load into games. And then yeah, when you get some money, buy SSD. So that's basically what you have to do. If you go to services, this is the list of things that I have enabled and disabled. So you just go here, you go to running, and then this is how it should look. You want to go to disabled. So as you can see from here, time zone disabled, kinetic experiences, credentials manager, diagnostics, display, Google Maps and location, Google. We don't use Google. I don't know why we have this built into Windows, but it is. Disable it. Diagnostics, Microsoft Edge, updates, installation services, NFC. We don't use NFC. I don't have a printer. No one's going to remotely access my computer. No one's going to change things on my computer remotely. This is, you can read all of the descriptions, yeah. You don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need themes, you don't need notifications, you don't need system maintenance, you don't need biometrics, you don't have a thumb or fingerprint reader. You don't need to send reports. Every time your Windows crashes or you have issues, you don't need to send it to no one. You don't need fonts. You don't need scanners and cameras. You don't need hotspots. If you got like a wireless or whatever or cable, you don't need notifications. You don't need search. You don't need workstation. You don't need Xbox. You don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need this. So these are all the things that you don't need, that you can just, you go, you say properties, you say stop, and you say disabled, then you say apply. If it says you can't, then you say cancel. And that's basically it. This will help you load into games. And every time I turn the computer on, I look and see what's running, and I just read these things. And their Microsoft accounts, I use the Microsoft account, so I'm not going to disable that. Time broker, touch. So certain things you can try and disable, like this here. I think that's a virus, to be honest. When it has this here, this 3A7 whatever, I think that's probably a virus. See, it won't let me do that, so I just go back, I say cancel. This thing, yeah, I still think that's a virus. I don't think it's supposed to have 3A7DB. Because this is like contact info and things like that, and it's like, why is that running? See, it won't let me cancel it, so it's probably a proper Windows thing. So, like this, yeah, synchronizes your mail and stuff like that. It's like, you don't need it to run. If you can't disable it, it won't allow you, so just leave it as is, but just, I don't want those things running. If you can't play, then there's no points, so try and disable whatever you can. Do some Google, do some research, keep this low. You want this as low as possible. And that's basically it for the video. So again, you can just pause, read everything, do any of these steps, and it might help you. Here's the Steam launch commands, and it will help you. And yeah, I'll basically stop the video here and make a new one of the gameplay. But as you can see, we're trying to load in now. Please let me load in. There we go, we loaded. That guy loaded. Load. Load. There you go, perfect, we've loaded. Alright. So as you can see, it worked. I'm in game. I'm in my low priority single draft game. So that was startup, check, launch, and working. So yeah, best of luck to you guys. Yeah, best of luck.